Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are advised that this film contains images of people who have passed.
This tattered piece of parchment, preserved in the Irwin Districts Museum, once defined a man's life. It determined where Benjamin Jones could live and where he could work. It even determined what he could eat. It ruled his life. Nicknamed Taffy, Benjamin Jones was a cabbage thief who was convicted of murder in Aberdare in Wales.
In Merthyr, a week ago, in front of J.C. Fowler Esquire and Mr. E.J. Davies, one Benjamin Jones was tried for murdering one Thomas Watkins on Friday evening, the 30th of November, on the road in Aberdare.
He was sentenced to die, but Taffy's sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, and he was sent on the last convict ship to Western Australia, leaving behind his wife and young child.
Look, in the beginning, the Swan River colony had been a free colony, but it was a very isolated place and it faced an uphill struggle to survive. The answer to this was convicts.
Convicts would provide the cheap labour needed to build essential infrastructure. In an article published by the Archaeological Institute of America, Samir Patel wrote,
"Any punishment or rehabilitation that resulted was accidental. They were there to build."
And build they did, in Perth, Fremantle, and throughout the state.
So there were about 10,000 men who were transported to Western Australia, and about 2,000 of them ended up in this district. They were sent here to work on farms, in mines, and to build essential public works.
Today, as you drive down the road that links Dongara to the ocean at Port Denison, you're driving down a road originally built in the 1860s by a convict road gang. At the port itself, you'll find the jetty and the navigation obelisks constructed with convict labour.
If they behaved themselves, most of the convicts were granted a ticket of leave, which is a form of parole. This allowed them to seek paid employment with a private employer or even work for themselves, but that work could only be done under strictly limited conditions.
The labours of Taffy and his mates resulted in crossings and bridges, roads, and important buildings. Somewhat ironically, the police station and courthouse at Dongara was built by ticket of leave men like Taffy, working for a fellow former convict, Joseph Walton. Walton had become a successful local businessman whose enterprises included building the Dongara Hotel. Until the police station was built, the hotel also served as the courthouse, and clients at the bar were more than willing to offer comments on cases being tried. Today, some might romanticise our convict history as we recall moments such as the daring rescue of the Irish Fenian prisoners from Fremantle.
But it was a desperately hard life. The work was difficult and backbreaking. Their day started at 5 o'clock in the morning, and for breakfast, a chunk of bread and a mug of tea. This was their midday meal. This was the evening meal. And twice a week, vegetable soup. It looked substantial, but it did not always provide the energy for the physical labour of the men.
After he got his ticket of leave, Taffy worked throughout the Victoria district as a labourer, shepherd, cook and baker. Anything that would keep him fed and in drink. Many convicts had tragic deaths from excessive drinking, accidents, illness and suicide. They were usually buried in unmarked graves. Benjamin Taffy Jones was no exception. Last seen drunk on a beach in Geraldton and later found drowned. Like so many convicts, Taffy died an alcoholic and a loner, thousands of kilometres from his family and homeland.